Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Sarasatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudirayat
Tado Jayamudirayat.
Nasta Prayeshu Vabhadreshu
Mastapraishu Adapraishu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya.
Bhagavati Utamashloke
Bhagavati Utamashloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki.
Bhakti Bhagavati Naistaki.
We're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, Text number 44.
今日閱讀聖典報講學談第一篇第3章，詩至第44。
What?
She need to go and go to office working.
Go to work. Oh, too bad. Online. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Tatra kirtayato vipra
Tatra kirtayata vipra.
Viprasher buritejasa
Vipra she burite jasaha.
Aham chadyagamam tatra
Aham jaityagamam tatra.
Nivishtastadanugrahat
Nivistastat anugrahat.
Soham va shravayishyami
Soham vasravayiswami.
Yataditam yatamati
Yatatitam yatamati.
Tatra kirtayato vipra
Tatra kirtayato vipra.
Viprasher buritejasa
Viprasre dabute jasaha.
aham chidyagamam tatra
aham chatyagamam tatra
nivishtastadanugrahat
divishtastat anugrahat
soham va shravayishyami
soham va shravaye swami
yataditam yatamati
yataditam yatamati
tatra kirtayato vipra
tatra kirtayatra vipra
viprasher buritejasa
viprasre puri tejasaha
aham chidyagamam tatra
aham chatyagamam tatra
nivishtastadanugrahat
divishtastat anugrahat
soham va shravayishyami
soham vat shravati swami
yataditam yatamati
yatatitam yatamati tatra kirtayato vipra
tatra kirtayato vipra
viprasre purita jesaha
vipraser buritejasa
aham chatyagamam tatra
aham chadyagamam tatra
divishtastat anugrahat
nivishtastadanugrahat
soham vasra yiswayam
soham va shravayishyami
yataditam yatamati
yataditam yatamati tatra
tatra
there
那裏
kirtayataha
kirtayataha
while reciting
在吟誦的時候
vipra
vipra
O brahmanas
哦婆羅門
vipra rishi
vipra rishi
from the great brahmana rishi
從偉大的 Brahmana 聖節
Buri
Buri
greatly
偉大的
Tejasa
Tejasaha
powerful
有力量的
Aham
Aham
I
我
Cha
Cha
also
也
Adyagamam
Adyagamam
could understand
能夠了解
Tatra
Tatra
in that meeting
在聚會中
Nivishta
Nivishta
being perfectly attentive
因全神貫注
Tat anugrahat
Tat anugrahat
by his mercy
由他的仁慈
Sa
Sa
that very thing
那同一件事
Aham
Aham
I
我
Va
話
unto you
向你們
Shravayishyami
Shravayishamim
Shravayishyami
Shravayishami
shall let you hear
將讓你們聽到
Yata aditam yatamati
Yada aditam yada mati
as far as my realization.
至於我的覺悟
Translation O learned Brahmanas, when Sukadeva Goswami recited Bhagavatam there in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, I heard him with rapt attention, and thus, by his mercy, I learned the Bhagavatam from the great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned it from him and as I have realized it.
譯文博學的 Brahmana Sukadeva Goswami 在那裏帝王 Parikshit 等待死亡的地方朗讀博伽亞談時，我全神貫注地聆聽，因此靠這位卓越強大的聖人的仁慈，我學習了博伽亞談。現在 我將努力把我從他那裡學到的博加雅談以及我的領悟，照原樣講給你們聽。
Purport by Srila Prabhupada.
就係
One can certainly see directly the presence of Lord Sri Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam if one has heard it from a self-realized great soul like Sukadeva Goswami. One cannot, however, learn Bhagavatam from a bogus, hired reciter whose aim of life is to earn some money out of such recitation and employ the earning in sex indulgence. No one can learn Srimad Bhagavatam who is associated with persons engaged in sex life. That is the secret of learning Bhagavatam. Nor can one learn Bhagavatam from one who interprets the text by his mundane scholarship. One has to learn Bhagavatam from the representative of Sukadeva Goswami and no one else, if one at all wants to see Lord Krishna in the pages of the Bhagavatam. This is the process and there is no alternative. Sutta Goswami is a bona fide representative of Sukadeva Goswami because he wants to present the message which he received from the great learned Brahmana Sukadeva Goswami, presented Bhagavatam as he heard it from his great father, and so also Sutta Goswami is presenting Bhagavatam as he heard it from Sukadeva Goswami. Simple hearing is not all. One must realize the text with proper attention. The word nivishta means that Sutta Goswami drank the juice of Bhagavatam through his ears. That is the real process of receiving Bhagavatam. One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Sri Krishna in every page. The secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned here. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, mating, or feeding and mating. But somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person at the very beginning, then one can assuredly see Lord Sri Krishna in person in the pages of the Bhagavatam. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, third chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam.
要旨由聖巴寶提供，就係、人如果從 Sukadeva Goswami 那裡覺悟了自我的偉大靈魂那裡聆聽博歌亞談，無疑就能直接看到聖主 Krishna 本人存在於聖典博歌亞談的字裏行間。但世上有一種人以朗讀博歌亞談為手段賺錢，並用賺取的錢去花天酒地、尋歡作樂。我們絕對不能向那種冒牌貨去學習博歌亞談。與沉溺於性生活的人交往的人，無法學習聖典博歌亞談，那是學習博歌亞談的秘密。不僅如此，向那些用自己的世俗學識解釋博歌亞談內容的人學習，也不可能真正學懂博歌亞談。人如真的 想要在博伽亞壇的字裏行間見到聖主 Krishna， 那就必須從 Sukadeva Goswami 的代表那裏學習博伽亞壇，而不是向其他人學習。這就是學習聖典博伽亞壇的程序，沒有選擇可言。Sutta Goswami 是 Sukadeva Goswami 的真正代表，因為他要呈現他從偉大博學的 Brahmana 那裏接收的信息。Sukadeva Goswami 講述他從他偉大的父親那裏聽到博伽亞壇，同樣 Sutta Goswami 講述他從 Sukadeva Goswami 那裏聽到的博伽亞壇。當然，光是聽是不足夠的，人必須以正確的態度領悟聆聽到的內容。梵文美妙地聆聽 Vivista 的意思是說 Sutta Goswami 用他的耳朵暢飲博伽亞壇的果汁，那是接受博伽亞壇的真正方法。人應該全神貫注地聆聽真正有資格的人的講述，這樣才能立刻領悟到主 Krishna 那裏就在博伽亞壇的每一頁中。這詩節談到了通曉博伽亞壇的秘訣。心中不潔淨的人，心中不純潔的人，不可能全神貫注地聆聽；行為不純潔的人，心也不可能純潔。在從事吃、睡、防衛和交配這4項活動時，不純潔的人，行為不可能純潔。但無論如何，如果人能夠全神貫注地真正地聆聽真正有資格的人朗讀博伽亞壇，那他從一開始就能在博伽亞壇的字裏行間裏看到 Krishna 本人。到此為止，結束了 Bhaktivedanta 對聖典博伽亞壇第1篇第3章 Krishna 是所有化身的源頭所作的描述。
Om Jnanatimmarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavi Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is the final verse of the 3rd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto.
咁呢一個詩節呢，就係聖典博伽亞壇第1篇第3章嘅最後一個詩節。
We've been hearing how Krishna is the source of all incarnations.
我哋咧聆聽到咧 Krishna 就係所有化身嘅源頭。
And so here Sutta Goswami is describing how he heard the Srimad Bhagavatam very carefully.
喺啲書咧就講述到 Sutta Goswami 咧，佢係點樣去小心翼翼咁樣去聆聽有關於聖典博伽亞壇嘅。
Maharaj Parikshit was fasting, not eating or drinking.
咁 Maharaj Parikshit 咧，佢就係斷食啦，就冇食嘢物同埋飲水嘅。
Sutta Goswami was also there, and he was hearing with rapt attention.
當時咧，Sutta Goswami 咧，亦都咧喺嗰度聆聽到咧，係非常之全神貫注地咧去聆聽聖典博伽亞壇。
He was hearing Sukadeva Goswami instruct Maharaj Parikshit.
佢聆聽緊咧Sukadeva Goswami 咧係點樣去講述呢個博伽亞壇俾 Parikshit 王。
So Sukadeva Goswami got perfection chanting the Srimad Bhagavatam.
咁 Sukadeva Goswami 咧，佢係好完美咧，係咁樣去唱頌聖典博伽雅談。
And Maharaj Parikshit got his perfection hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam.
咁咧就Parikshit 王咧，亦都係藉著聆聽聖典博伽雅談咧，係得到完美。
And Sutta Goswami also heard the Sri. He was in the audience there.
當然咧，當時咧，Sutta Goswami 咧，亦都係當時咧係一個聽眾嚟嘅。
So he also got the mercy of Sukadeva Goswami.
因此咧，佢亦都得到 Sukadeva Goswami 嘅仁慈啦。
And he gives the credit to Sukadeva Goswami. Sutta Goswami said, I learned the Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami.
佢亦都係因而咧係向Sukadeva Goswami 咧係讚賞咧，同埋咧係因為佢係從佢咧係聆聽到聖典博伽雅談嘅。
And he describes Sukadeva Goswami as being a great and powerful sage.
咁亦都係能夠咧呢件事咧，亦都咧使到 Sukadeva Goswami 咧成為一個偉大嘅聖哲。
Sukadeva Goswami was a young man.
Sukadeva Goswami 咧當時係一個年青人嚟嘅。
But of course he was very powerful. He was the son of Srila Vyasadeva.
咁佢亦都係非常之強大有力啦，因為佢係Sri Vyasadeva 嘅兒子。
And he was so detached from the world that he left home immediately.
咁佢咧對呢個俗世咧係非常之不依戀咧，佢立刻咧就係離開家庭。
Well, he'd been in the womb for 16 years.
佢咧就喺呢個母親嘅子宮裏邊咧係停留咗16年。
But after taking birth, after coming out of the womb, he immediately left. He didn't wait around.
當佢咧係離開佢嘅母親嘅肚腹嘅時候咧，佢立刻咧係離開家庭。
And so we can understand that Sukadeva Goswami was Atmarama. He was taking pleasure in the self.
咁就因此咧，我哋就係了解到啦，Sukadeva Goswami 咧，佢係 Atmarama 係對佢對呢個覺悟自我咧係非常之完美。
In other words, he was a liberated soul.
亦都係一個咧換句説話講咧，係一個解脫咗嘅靈魂。
He was not influenced by the modes of nature. There was no passion or ignorance, and there was not even material goodness.
佢對於佢咧係不受三屬性嘅自然屬性所影響咧，亦都係對任何嘅世俗嘅事咧係不感興趣。
He was a transcendentalist. He was fixed on the platform of the Brahman.
佢係一個超然主義者咧，同埋咧係住於喺呢個梵嘅覺悟當中。
And Sukadeva Goswami had heard the Bhagavatam from his father Srila Vyasadeva.
Sukadeva Goswami 咧，亦都係從佢嘅父親 Sri Vyasadeva 去聆聽聖典博伽雅談。
And he was given the opportunity to speak again, to speak what he had heard to Maharaj Parikshit.
咁亦都係有藉此機會咧，係去向Parikshit 王咧係講述有關於聖典博伽雅談。
So Srila Prabhupada describes here that you want to learn the Srimad Bhagavatam, then there is some requirement.
咁聖巴寶媽有講述到啦，如果你要學習聖典博伽雅談咧，係需要有啲嘅資格。
Requirement is you have to give up engagement in material sex life.
就係啲要去放棄世俗嘅性生活。
We have to practice, in other words, we should practice celibacy.
咁我哋應該咧係要去要去收集獨身主義。
Tapasya brahmacharyena samena cha damena cha. So practicing brahmacharya, this is required for people who want to understand the message of Srimad Bhagavatam.
人咧係必須要學習咧喺呢個精手身咁嘅生活咧就能夠咧去學習到聖典博伽雅談。
We have to give up material pleasure.
我哋一定要去放棄呢個物質嘅享樂。
Yamunacharya was a great devotee of the Lord.
Yamunacharya 咧亦都係至尊主嘅偉大嘅奉獻者。
And in his youth, he was a king and he enjoyed a lot of pleasures in the palace life.
咁喺年幼嘅時候咧，佢係喺呢個皇宮裏邊生活咧，咁咧個所過嘅生活咧非常之豪華嘅。
He had many, living in the palace, he was surrounded with many beautiful women.
佢喺皇宮裏邊咧，又有好多嘅美麗嘅女士咧係圍住啦。
And he was at liberty, he was free to enjoy with these women anytime.
咁佢亦都係能夠咧係隨時隨地咧與呢啲女士咧係享樂嘅。
But he gave all that life up and he renounced everything and he went to live in the temple.
咁佢咧就放棄晒所有呢啲嘅享樂啦，咁咧就係獨自咧就去到個廟裏邊生活。
And he went on to realize the transcendental pleasure of spiritual life.
咁因而咧佢就能夠覺悟到咧靈修生活嘅超然嘅快樂。
And he is said to have quoted a verse, Yadavadi mama cheta Krishna padara vinde navanavarasatam yujatad rantamasit tatad bari batanari sangame samyamane bhavati mukam vikarasastu nishtivanam cha. Yamunacharya is saying that since I have been engaged in the transcendental loving service of Radha and Krishna,
咁有冇咧？Acharya 咧，佢一就講述到咧，呢個詩節裏面講述到咧，因為咧佢係享受緊啊喺呢個覺悟 Krishna 呢個嘅程序嘅快樂。
And I've been experiencing more and more pleasure in the transcendental affairs of Radha and Krishna.
咁喺呢個Radha 同 Krishna 裏邊嘅逍遙時光裏邊咧，佢能夠感受到更多嘅超然嘅喜樂。
So now whenever I think of my past and how I'd engaged in so much material sense gratification, then my lips will curl with distaste and I will spit at the thought.
咁因此，當我咧去記起我以往所過嘅世俗嘅生活嘅時候咧，我就要向呢啲即係所過嘅生活咧，係向佢呢啲嘅以往嘅世俗嘅生活咧，係要去唾棄以往嘅生活。
So yesterday also we were speaking about the importance of developing detachment from the material world and giving up sense gratification.
昨天咧亦都係講述到有關於係不依附呢個物質世界嘅享樂嘅話題。
So that same theme is being emphasized here in relation to trying to understand the Bhagavatam.
咁喺呢處亦都係喺呢個詩節裏邊有講述到咧，係去感受到聖典報加雅談裏邊所得到嘅喜樂。
Just to be a scholar, a mundane scholar, that will not help us to understand the real message of Bhagavatam.
作為一個世俗嘅學者咧，唔能夠去了解到聖典報加雅談嘅內容嘅。
And Prabhupada said, we have to learn the Bhagavatam from the representative of Sukadeva Goswami.
聖巴寶巴有講述到咧，要學習聖典報加雅談咧，一定要咧從have to learn 係從呢個偉大嘅聖節裏邊咧學習聖典報加雅談。
So Sukadeva Goswami was a fully renounced person. He was, as we said, Atmarama. He was on the transcendental platform.
Sukadeva Goswami 咧，佢係一個 Atmarama， 佢咧就係完全處喺呢個自我滿足嘅層面上邊。
It's described that when he was leaving home, he came past a lake where young women were bathing. 有講述到咧，係當佢離開家園嘅時候咧，去路經一個嘅湖邊嘅時候咧，有好多嘅赤身露體嘅女士咧喺個樹嘅湖裏邊。And when Sukadeva Goswami came past the lake, the women didn't worry about him. 當 Sukadeva Goswami 咧係路經呢個湖嘅時候咧，喺湖中嘅呢嘅女士咧就冇感到憂慮。But when Srila Vyasadeva came by, then the girls all rushed to get their clothing and cover their bodies.
但當 Vyasadeva 經過呢個湖嘅時候咧，呢、個湖中所有嘅女士咧就好驚慌咁樣咧，係用衣服咧係遮蔽佢哋嘅身體。
So Srila Vyasadeva was surprised. He said, you know, I'm an older man. I'm in the family life. You don't have to worry about me.
咁Sri Vyasadeva 咧就係感覺得好疑惑啊，就同啲嗰啲女士講啲，我就係一個老年人，咁而咧 Sukadeva Goswami 一個年青人，咁我一個你點解要去擔憂，即係對我咧係有所憂慮咧
But my son, he's in the prime of youth. He's a young man. He's in full vigor of youth. But you didn't worry about him.
但係我個兒子咧係年青嘅喎，咁點解你對佢咧又唔會感覺到憂慮咧？
And the young women said, yes, because we could understand your son is detached from the material world. He had no interest in us.
咁啲女士就回答啦，我哋明白到咧，你個兒子咧係對呢個世俗嘅事物咧係不感興趣啦。咁因而咧，我哋咧係對佢嚟講咧係冇憂慮感啊。
But we see you're in a household, you're in the family life, you have children, and you know about the fair sex, and you're not like your son. Your son is a renounced brahmachari, has no affairs with no contact with the other sex.
咁但係咧，佢哋同 Vyasadeva 講咧，就係你又唔同啦，因為你係一個居士咧，你對呢個性生活係有認識咧，但係你嘅兒子咧就唔係喎，咁因而咧，我哋對你咧係有唔同嘅感受。
So Sukadeva Goswami, he is a very great soul, liberated soul.
咁因此咧 ，Sukadeva Goswami 咧係一個非常之偉大嘅靈魂嚟嘅。
And we want to learn Srimad Bhagavatam, we have to find someone who is following that example of Sukadeva Goswami.
因此，我哋要學習聖典《博伽雅談》嘅時候咧，要從一啲咧係跟隨住 Sukadeva Goswami 呢啲嘅聖節咧係去學習。
And the result of following a qualified person is that we will be able to see Lord Krishna in the pages of the Bhagavatam.
當一個人咧從一個真實無偽嘅奉獻者偉大嘅聖節咧去學習聖典《博伽雅談》嘅時候咧，我哋就能夠咧從呢個聖典《博伽雅談》裏邊嘅字裏行間咧見到 Krishna。
So Srila Prabhupada describes how Sutta Goswami is a bona fide representative of Sukadeva Goswami.
聖巴布巴咧解釋到啊 ，Sutta Goswami 咧點樣成為能夠咧Sukadeva Goswami 嘅追隨者。
He is trying to present the message he has received from Sukadeva Goswami. He's not trying to add anything or take anything out.
Sutta Goswami 咧係所講述嘅聖典《博伽雅談》咧係完全咧係跟隨住 Sukadeva Goswami 嘅每一個意思咧去講述嘅，而冇加自己嘅任何嘅見解。
We give the example about the postman delivering the mail.
我哋咧係以一個郵差呢個嘅例子咧係解釋。
The postman delivers the mail. We don't want him to take anything out of the mail, and he's not supposed to put anything into the mail either. He's just meant to deliver the mail.
作為一個嘅郵差咧，佢唔會將呢個信件裏邊嘅任何東西攞出嚟，又或者咧唔會將其他嘅嘢咧放入呢個郵件裏邊嘅。
Do they still have postmen?
佢仍然係一個郵差。
Do they still have that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Nowadays, mostly not letters, but those giving people like
bills and
bank letters.
bills and bank letters and everything. They're trying to reduce it, but
Oh yeah.
those are still
No letters, no one send letters.
Okay, so anyway, Sukadeva Goswami and his representatives. Sutta Goswami is a representative of Sukadev because he delivered what he heard from Sukadev.
Sukadeva Goswami 咧，佢係一個代表啦。咁 Sutta Goswami 咧，亦都係代表住Sukadeva Goswami 所有嘅教導。
But Prabhupada said simply hearing is not enough.
聖巴巴講述到啦，單從係聆聽咧係唔足夠嘅。
Prabhupada said we have to realize the text with proper attention.
咁聖巴巴有講述到，我哋一定要去覺悟啊，就係呢個聖典國家雅談咧，就係非常之專注地咁樣去覺悟。
Right, we have to understand what is being presented to us.
咁我哋一定要去了解啊，我哋所聆聽到嘅所有嘅教導。
So Prabhupada says this Srimad Bhagavatam is a nectar, and we have to drink that nectar.
聖巴講述到，博江雅談咧係一個甘露嚟嘅，因此咧，我哋一定要去飲用呢個甘露啦。
So Sutta Goswami had drank the nectar through his ears by hearing from Shukadev.
咁Sutta Goswami咧係用佢嘅耳朵咧係去飲呢啲嘅甘露咧係從 Sukadeva Goswami 裏邊而嚟嘅。
Right, we should be eager to hear these things.
我哋一定要好熱衷咁樣去聆聽呢啲嘅話題。
This eagerness to hear is very important. This is a very important qualification for advancing Krishna consciousness.
要好熱情咁樣去聆聽有關於聖典博江雅談咧，就係我哋能夠喺 Krishna 之國裏邊收集嘅程序同埋進步嘅方法。
We see people very eager to go to cinema, they're eager to hear television, they're eager to hear from so many mundane authorities.
好多人咧好熱衷於去戲院啦，去睇電視啦，好熱衷於去做其他嘅物質嘅活動。
So we have to be willing to hear this Srimad Bhagavatam, hear it so carefully that what we hear we can remember.
我哋亦都係非常之係去好熱衷，同埋咧好專注去聆聽有關於聖典博江雅談嘅內容。
But not just only remember, but apply it in our life.
不單止咧係去聆聽啦，而要將呢啲聆聽翻嚟嘅知識咧，係用喺我哋嘅生活裏邊。
And then we can see Krishna in the pages of the Bhagavatam.
因此咧，我哋就能夠咧喺聖典博江雅談裏邊嘅每一頁裏邊咧，字裏行間去見到主 Krishna 啦。
And so at the end of the purport, Prabhupada has given this very nice description. He says, in order to hear with rapt attention, to hear very carefully, we have to be pure in mind.
咁喺呢個詩節裏邊咧，最尾段啊，聖巴布巴咧係講述到有一個好重要嘅內容，就話我哋要去好小心，能夠好小心去聆聽聖典博江雅談嘅時候咧，我哋嘅心意咧一定要係純粹嘅。
If within our mind we're always thinking about sense gratification, material life, then we won't be able to hear very well.
如果我哋嘅心意咧時常專注於去諗一啲嘅物質嘅生活啦，或者係物質嘅享樂咧，我哋唔能夠聆聽到聖典博江雅談嘅內容噶啦。
We have to just simply want to understand the topics of Krishna.
我哋一定要去理解Krishna 嘅有關於 Krishna 嘅一切。
And then Prabhupada continues, we cannot be pure in mind if we're not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating.
聖巴爸爸有講述到，如果即係我哋嘅心意唔能夠係純粹嘅，如果我哋仍然咧係去有呢啲嘅物質嘅享樂咧，物質嘅交配啊，淨係即係有關於物質嘅從事嘅活動。
So eating, we have to be faithful to eat prasadam.
咁係飲食方面咧，我哋一定要去食靈糧 prasadam。
And sleeping, we don't want to oversleep, we don't want to undersleep.
睡眠方面呢，我哋唔好去瞓得太多或者係瞓得太少。
Fearing, we should simply fear wasting the human life, not taking advantage of the human life to become Krishna conscious. We should fear for that.
我哋應該要去恐懼啦，恐懼有關於我哋冇用到我哋嘅生命咧，係去收集 Krishna 知覺，而係浪費於喺呢個物質嘅生活裏邊。
And then pure in mating. Mating means mating to produce Krishna conscious children.
就喺交配方面咧，我哋應該咧係一個係純粹嘅交配，就係話咧為咗係得到有能夠訓練到有 Krishna 知覺嘅兒女，而先至去交配。
So if we are following these things, then we can be pure in action, and then we can be pure in our mind.
如果我哋咧冇咗呢啲嘅物質嘅活動咧，我哋嘅心意咧先至能夠咧係得到純粹。
But then Prabhupada says at the end, he said, anyways, he knows this is going to be quite difficult for a lot of people to follow these things.
咁對於呢啲嘅事咧，就一般人咧係比較困難嘅。
He knows people are not very pure in their eating and their sleeping, and their mating and defending.
對於一般人嚟講咧，係飲食啊、防衞啦、交配啦，所有呢啲事情咧，都唔係一啲嘅純粹嘅情況之下做嘅。
But then Prabhupada said, anyway, somehow or other, if somebody hears with rapt attention from the right person at the very beginning, then one can see Krishna.
咁但係咧，雖然係唔能夠做到正話以上講嘅嘢，但聖巴布巴就有講述到，如果一個人咧，佢好專心咁樣去聆聽，好專心咁樣去聆聽呢啲嘅聖典博伽雅談嘅時候咧，佢就能夠咧係認識到 Krishna 嘅。
So, hearing means the speaker has to be qualified, the audience also has to be qualified.
咁有關於講述聖典博伽雅談咧，講述嘅人咧係一定係好純粹啦，呢個就係佢哋資格。而去聆聽聖典博伽雅談咧，亦都係需要純粹嘅。
The qualification of the speaker is that he's realized the subject matter.
講述有關於聖典博伽雅談嘅資格咧，就係一定佢要去覺悟到博伽雅談裏邊嘅內容。
He's not just giving a dramatic performance.
亦都佢唔係咧係一個表演咁樣去講述。
That he himself is following strictly.
佢本人咧係嚴格咁樣去跟隨住聖典博伽雅談裏邊嘅內容去生活。
And he has faith in the process.
亦都係呢個程序方面咧係有強大嘅信心。
And he's understood the subject matter.
亦都係了解到呢個嘅所講述嘅內容。
Not only does he know it himself, but he's able to present it to others.
不單止佢係了解到呢啲嘅教導咧，佢亦都能夠好呈現呢啲嘅教導俾別人。
Okay, so this is Srimad Bhagavatam. Then the audience, they have to hear very carefully.
聽眾咧一定要去係非常之小心咁樣去聆聽。
Put aside their material desires.
咁咧將一個物質嘅慾望咧擺埋一邊先啦。
We say better come to class without your handphone.
咁咧應該咧係嚟聽課嘅時候咧，唔好揸住個手機啊。
Some places, I heard that if you go on the parikrama with Radhanath Maharaj, they take away all the handphones.
咁喺呢個朝聖嘅時候咧，Radhanath Maharaj 係將呢個朝聖裏邊嗰啲人嗰啲嘅手機咧收起晒。
Because you're coming to parikrama, you don't need these things.
咁我哋要去朝聖嘅時候咧，手機係唔需要用噶啦。
Just need to take shelter of Lord Krishna.
我哋一定要去咧託庇於主 Krishna。
Okay, any question?
有冇問題？
Yes.
You know, when they said, when Srila Prabhupada says from the beginning, what does it mean by the term beginning? Because people are supposed to carry forward also in life, right? I mean, does it mean the beginning of day or beginning of, I mean, exactly what does it mean in the beginning?
一開始就要好小心咁去聆聽聖典博講嘅談。呢、個開始咩為之開始？
Well, it means if you're coming to hear, but at the same time you're thinking you know something, then that's a problem.
咁如果我哋咧係去聆聽聖典博講嘅談嘅時候咧，你就認為你咧係識好多嘢，咁呢個咧就係一個令你令你有問題嘅嘢嚟㗎啦。
We say it's easier to teach the person who doesn't know anything than to teach someone who thinks they know something.
咁我有一句講就係話寧願教一啲咧係完全對一啲呢啲嘅題目唔認識嘅人咧，就容易過去教一啲對呢啲事物有少少認識嘅人。
So in the beginning means like that you're a blank slate. There's nothing written on the board.
開始意思就話咧，你對呢件事咧係完全都唔了解、唔明白嘅，咁就係呢個咧，呢個嘅狀況咧就為之一開始啦。
You're not thinking, I know, I know, but you know, but if we're thinking we know something, but we know something which is from our own speculation or from some other thing, and we try to bring it in to Krishna consciousness, then it's difficult.
如果我哋咧係從外邊咧係聆聽有關於一啲嘅一啲嘅物質嘅理解或者知識咧，係咁呢個狀況之下去聆聽聖典博講雅談咧，咁呢個咧就係一個造成咧係俾自己一啲嘅障礙嘅。
If you try to teach the piano to someone who's already been trying to play the piano themselves and learning from other people, you know, and then it's very difficult.
如果你去教鋼琴啦，去教個學生咧，佢係從第度咧係學習鋼琴噶啦，咁你再去教佢嘅時候咧，就有少少嘅困難嘅。
You learn all the bad things, all the bad habits, and you've learned everything wrong, then you have to teach you how to do everything right.
咁即係話你之前去學咗一啲咧係唔正確嘅或者係壞嘅習慣嘅時候咧，咁再去教呢個人嘅時候咧，就要費多啲嘅功夫啦。
So that's what it means in the beginning.
一開始嘅意思就係話咧，係就係咁解啦。
You start from the beginning.
我哋要從零開始。
Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Any other question? No? Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki. Or Bhakta Vrinda ki.